Ford High School Weekly is brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. And by Rib Crib, smoking good stuff since '92.
Welcome to Ford High School Weekly. I'm your host, Deanna Amate. On this week's episode, we're talking with one of my favorite players from Oklahoma City, my man, Jayson Smith. Jason, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. So here at Ford High School Weekly, what we like to do is we like to ask some personal questions at first, trying to get the viewers to get to know you a little bit better before we start hitting the hard-hitting questions. That cool with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go ahead and get it started off this way. I noticed you wear the number 40 on your chest on game days, but is that your favorite number?
Yes, most definitely.
Well, why the number 40?
I just always liked it since elementary. It's been my favorite number since elementary, so yeah, I just stuck with it.
So was it given to you, or was it something that you personally picked?
Something I personally picked. I don't know why. I just like number 40.
That's an interesting number, but I'm not mad at it. You're making a name for it. All right. Next question. Who's your favorite musical artist?
Musical artist right now, probably NBA Young Boy.
Oh yeah. Why him?
I just like his music.
Is it the beat? Is it the flow? What is it?
Like every song is different. They got different flows, beats, all that. So yeah, they can do it all kind of.
I'm not mad at it. All right. Next question. If you could go on any vacation, what kind of trip would you take?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
Why Hawaii?
Because my friend went there. He said it was fun. Yeah.
Hey man, I ain't been either, so I got to check it out as well. All right, last question before we start talking about the game. What's your favorite meal to eat before a game?
Before a game?
Yeah.
Well, we usually go to we got like a church to go to and eat the food there. But I don't really like putting like on a full stomach because like I just feel like bloated on the field. But I like a quick snack or something like that.
So what would that snack be?
A granola bar, something like that. Because of my stomach.
Playing hungry, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When we return, Jayson Smith loves hitting, whether it's running the ball or chasing down running backs. Now, let's check out the Billy Sims BBQ running back of the game from Bishop McGinnis and Guthrie.
Let's take a look at our Billy Sims BBQ running back of the game, brought to you by Billy Sims BBQ. It's not just barbecue, it's Boomer Q.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he comes up on the losing side of this, but our Billy Sims running back of the game is none other than Michael Taffy. He was phenomenal tonight, ending the game with a statistical standing of 23 rushes, 103 yards, averaging 4.5 yards a carry with 3 touchdowns and a long of 35 that you just saw right there. But he was just strong, physical, fast, and made plays when his team needed him the most. Take a look at some of these powerful runs. Man, right there, just getting tripped up at the goal line, but don't worry, he would finish things off powerfully as he continues to turn those feet. He is a phenomenal athlete, a great running back. Still, look for him to do good things in the playoffs. Just unfortunate that he came out on the losing side of this one.
Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. I'm talking with Del City's own Jayson Smith. So I always start these interviews with this question. How did you get started playing football?
Pee-wee, my mom, she had a friend. He told me to come out to practice. He had a good size or whatever. And I went out there and I tried it and I liked it.
Do you remember your first position and like one of your first big plays on the field?
Back then, I was kind of scared to play, really, in Pee-wee, but I think I was on the line somewhere. I wanted to, like, tackle or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we all have we all have our first inkling of. I remember the first thing I played was guard. All right, so tell me about it, man. What's it like to play for a rich tradition program like Del City?
It's really a brotherhood. You know, it's fun. It's all together a brotherhood. at the LCD, they help you build character on and out of school. And, it's really fun. Really.
So, was there anything that made you feel special about putting on that jersey and being an Eagle?
Most definitely. I went there, the atmosphere, it was just there. It just felt like home when I went there. So, it was a go from there.
Speaking of home, I mean, you guys have played 2 road games in a row now, and 2 overtime games in a row now. So let me ask you this, as a dude that's played in a couple overtime games, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Those overtime games is crazy, really. We all be tired, but we was always top fight throughout the fourth quarter. So we did what we did. Count W all 3 times, which is crazy. So, yeah.
You're an individual who plays on both sides of the football. What's the hardest part about that?
The hardest part is really just back to back. You got to be conditioned to do both. If not, you're just going to be gas tired, So, yeah, I try to stay conditioned.
What's your mentality when you get on into the field as far as playing both sides of the ball and being one of the leaders on the team? What's your mentality like?
Dominate. I try to get, when we're 21-0, I try to get us, cranked up because, everybody's all down and stuff like that. And, I was just trying to, bring everybody in like it's not over. It's not fourth quarter with 0 on the clock. So we got to keep going and push through it.
I like that. Dominate. So with that being said, I mean, what's it going to take for you and the guys over there in Dell City to reach some of y'all's goals and make a strong playoff push?
Stay locked in, play our games, don't beat ourselves, Really, don't beat ourselves. If we do that, we're good.
So looking into the future and to the playoffs, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to?
Win the gold ball, which is everybody goal, but work towards that.
Speaking of, I mean, this is kind of seems like a lot of people were kind of down on Dell City because of the poor performance and the things that happened last year and y'all's record. What's the difference between last year's team and this year's team?
It's really not a difference, but this year, everybody knows they have new coaches and stuff like that. I'm not saying coaches, but we're all together really. Like last year, it was everybody was just going through the motions and stuff like that. But this year, we're all locked in, we're all bought in and stuff like that. So yeah.
So, with that being said, what's some of the things that you're looking forward to as an individual to push this team to the next level as far as getting into the playoffs and making a nice run there?
And give them my all, especially before we graduate and leave 6A2. That's one of my goals where we leave to 5A.
You mentioned some of the things that you want to accomplish as a team, but what are some of the individual goals that you have this season?
Just play good, My last year, try to put some film up and stuff like that. The scouts, just get better as a person, really.
Speaking, you mentioned scouts. I've been looking around. Who are some of the college coaches that are kind of showing you some love and vying for your talents?
We're like ECU, UCO, and Pitt State just hit me up the other day too. So, yeah.
Well, I'm telling you right now, man, a lot of coaches need to start hitting that inbox because you're probably one of my, like I said, one of my favorite players in the city, and I think you're one of the best linebackers in the state.
Thank you. I think the same too.
So what is that? Does that go into your mentality and your play when you're out on the field? Is that something that you're trying to prove?
Yeah, I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. I want to prove everybody wrong. So one of the top athletes in the state.
So with that being said, being one of the top athletes in the state is an individual goal. And to get that accomplished, individual goals help team goals. Now, what is this team's ultimate goal at the end of the day?
Dominate. Fight first, second, third, and fourth quarter. Don't give up, Don't beat ourselves.
So one question I got to ask you, though, before we get out of here is how is it playing linebacker and running back on game nights?
It's fun, to be honest. linebacker, I get to hit people. The same thing at running back. I get to run people over. I just like being physical, so it's really a fun thing to do from the back linebacker.
Yeah, it sure does look like it. So answer me this then. What do you prefer? What's your favorite? All right, is running somebody over or making a hard tackle in the middle of that defense?
Hard tackle. I like linebacker better than running back. I like both, but linebacker that's just.
Yeah, it sure looks like it's fun the way you play it, man. Well, Jayson, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and good luck to you and the Eagles over there and making that playoff push.
Thanks for having me.
Playoffs are a week away, and recruiting commitments are picking up. Prep Red Zone's Michael Knight is next on Ford High School Weekly. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. Well, you know what time of week it is. My man, Michael Knight from Prep Red Zone is here to give us all the information on high school football around the area. Michael Knight, thanks for joining us once again.
Absolutely. Look forward to it every week.
So it's the last regular season game of the football season here in Oklahoma high school football. I'm guessing there's some playoff implications in front of us.
Oh yeah, there's district championship games galore on Friday, and so it's always funny. I always talk about how like the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and really the last week especially, the playoffs have come early for a lot of these teams because there's going to be games like Booker T. Washington, Bixby, Beggs, Victory Christian, Ardmore, Lawton, Mac. They're going to have district championships on the line.
You mentioned Booker T. Washington versus Bixby, one of those big-time games, big-time matchups in 6A2. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I joked with a colleague earlier this week that I keep looking at that matchup, and common sense would tell us that Bixby's a huge favorite, right? They've won 45 in a row. They've dominated every single team that they've played against for the most part this year. But then I keep looking at Booker T. Washington, and I keep looking at the Hornets and the talent that they have, and I know that they don't have the numbers that they used to have, and maybe they're not as deep on the line of scrimmage on either side, but man, when you look at the skill players that they have on both sides of the ball, it's hard to see them getting blown out by anybody. So I like that matchup. I'm intrigued by that matchup. Obviously, Bixby is the favorite, but at the same time, I think that the Hornets are going to be able to make some plays. Lathan Boone, their quarterback, is coming off one of his best starts of his career. Accounted for 400-plus yards of total offense last week, had 7 touchdowns passing, another touchdown on the ground. So as long as he stays away from that front 7 of Bixby, and they're going to get after him on Friday night, he has some guys around him that certainly can make some plays.
The game that I kind of want to get your information about is the game that we got here at Cox View is that Westmore versus Jinx game. Now, tell me a little bit about Jinx. I mean, I know they're one of the top teams in 6A1 rolling into the playoffs, but what do they got to do to kind of get this victory over the Jaguars?
I think that, they've established themselves, in my opinion, as the top team in 6A1. For Westmore, I think that this is kind of a bounce back year. They're kind of looking already towards next year with some younger guys that they're playing. But for Jinx, man, they don't have a whole lot of weaknesses. I'm going to be interested to see how they look in the playoffs. I mean, a lot of people will talk about their freshman quarterback, Shaker Rising. And I want to see him in the playoffs. I want to see him with the bleach blonde hair, with the bright lights on him. I want to see how he responds to that. He has 2 fantastic running backs next to him with Jaden Carroll and Jalen Stanford. He has one of the most dominant defenses that's helping him. But at the same time, there's going to come a time in the playoffs where the young freshman is going to have to make a play. And I want to see if he's ready for that. So far, he's answered every single call. I want to see if he's ready for playoff football.
Playoff football does mean bleach blonde hair here in the state of Oklahoma. But before we get out of here, let's go ahead and talk about some recruiting news that happened and took place around the areas. What do you got for us?
Yeah, we mentioned Booker T. Washington. They had a couple more commits over the weekend. First, Jordan Drew, standout on both sides of the ball. He committed to Utah State. And then the next day, I believe, his teammate Jaden King, one of the state's leaders in interceptions last year, another ball hawk on that Booker T secondary, he committed to Houston Baptist. And you might be wondering, Houston Baptist, what's the connection there? Well, former OU Sooner, former Jinx Trojan Gabe Lynn is now an assistant at Houston Baptist. So he's obviously recruiting Oklahoma and recruiting the Tulsa area specifically. And look, Gabe Lynn, former Jinx DB himself, he knows what he's looking for when it comes to DBs in the Tulsa area. So that's now 3 out of the 4 starters in the Booker T secondary, along with Gentry Williams, who's committed to OU, who are now committed to D1 programs. And the other one is Micah Tees, who, in my opinion, is a top 2 prospect in the junior class here in Oklahoma. So I mentioned all the talent at Booker T Washington, why I'm intrigued by that Bixby matchup. And those 2 guys committing over the weekend, 2 perfect examples of that talent.
Well, that's Michael Knight from Prep Red Zone, and thank you for joining us. And we'll be right back here on Ford High School Week.
Billy Sims BBQ, running back of the game, brought to you by Billy Sims. BBQ,
You know
it's
who
not
it
just
is.
barbecue, it's Boomer Q right here.
Big fella looking like Boomer Q. The big fella, Will Mason. Big size, high stepping, getting it done. Had a strong second half for him. Look at the block up front. He's able to walk in and make plays. Hey, stare down the camera right there, Mr. Mason, getting it done. He's our Billy Sims, running back of the game.
Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. Last week, we had 2 games that were close on the Ford Game of the Week. Bishop Kelly was at Coweta, while Bishop McGinnis and Guthrie earned a little overtime at The Rock.
Welcome back to your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. You can see nobody wants to leave here tonight. Guthrie winning in overtime, 35-34. They get the stop on the 2-point conversion in OT, and they get the victory here this evening. Dion, final thoughts.
Man, we knew it was going to come down to that 2-point conversion, especially they were executing all night long. But I didn't know it was going to be this phenomenal of a game coming into it. Both of these running backs, amazing. And both these teams are going to do damage in the playoffs, especially the way they can play defense and the way they can run the football. Watch out now. All right, Fave, you got some questions to answer.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights from this evening, and Mr. Amade will take us through all that as only he can as we take a look at these final highlights.
Yeah, we've had so many great plays in this game, so many to mention, but take a look at some of them. Take out this touchdown run after halftime by my man Hammonds, going off the block, finding the pylon, racing to the end zone. He did that all night, and it was phenomenal. I'm so happy we got an opportunity to present him and his greatness here tonight for the Blue Jays. And then don't forget about my man Michael Taffy doing a good job of picking that ball up off the turf and getting into the end zone. And then check out this deep pass by Calvert to my man number 10 with the reception shelf going long. That one would go in for a touchdown as well. And then look at this. Woo! Nice move by Tamar going up and picking up the first down, what we thought was a first down, but they went ahead and found a way to pick it up on 4th and 1 with Taffy's strong run that almost went into the end zone, but he gets tripped up right there on about the 3-yard line, but they were able to knock that one in for a touchdown as well. And then check out this touchdown pass to number 20, Fleury, and he goes in for the touchdown for the Fighting Irish. That wouldn't be all, ladies and gentlemen. Check out bootleg pass, finding Tamar in the end zone, and he goes in for a touchdown. And then in overtime, Calvert goes into the pylon, and that's going to be the game-winning touchdown for the Guthrie Blue Jays, and they take the win 35-34.
We've got some highlights to recap tonight's football game. There was definitely plenty of them. Coweta jumped out on top in this one 3-0 and had a lead at the half 13-7. Kelly, scoreless third quarter. Kelly finally came back, took the lead in the 4th. And we'll look at some of the key plays in this game.
Yeah, and you saw it earlier. There's that guy Ford. Look at the moves he makes. I mean, he's so elusive, makes you miss. Got to get me a Ford bowl from Chick-fil-A. And then you see they get on the board right there at 3-0. Wasn't done yet. Get it to Mr. Ford again. Coming around the end. So fast, so elusive. This guy's a big-time playmaker, only a junior. Now, coming right back. They were not done. Kelly coming back, able to try to make a play right there. The quarterback able to make the run. Will Packard right there, but chased down right there. Number 4, Michael Fletcher, able to run him down. Here it comes back and punches it in, and Kelly gets up on the board. Very
made
impressive.
It 10-7.
10-7, and coming right back, we talked about the play of the game right there that you see him reach out. Justice Grammer's right there, and then gonna punch it in, get on the board again, and 3 more for the Tigers at this point.
That made it 13-7 at the half. No score in the third quarter, and then a lot of good defense.
Boy, defense stepping up right there for the Tigers. Big number 54 able to come away with that tackle. Oh, the Deacon Peterson. And how about this guy, Mr. Williams? He was electric in special teams. There you see him, a nice play in. Williams, the sophomore, he's going to be very good. Then tried to kick it in, just not enough right there, no good. And Kelly came away with a huge stand that time that made it big. And now, look at the pancake block. I believe number 88 and number 20 able to punch that in for Kelly, our guy, Warden, JT Warden, and then coming right back. We talked about it. The offensive player, Will Mason, and here he is again. Look at the blocking, going to come in right here and watch him dive right there to get into the end zone. Mr. Mason getting it done, and the Tigers come away with a huge win, 28-14, as we look at the numbers right here. And there you see the rushing, 182-87.
By Burke. Direct snap to Presley, right side. Oh, it's Kirby up there helping block for him. He's got a first down and more. He's going to be gone.
Be sure to go to yourview.com/OK for highlights and replays of the Ford Game of the Week. And check out our podcast and past episodes at yourview.com/OK. Remember, only the best in Oklahoma, like Jayson Smith, make the Ford High School Weekly. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Deon Amade.
Ford High School Weekly has been brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. And by Rib Crib, smoking good stuff since '92.